I'm Will.
I'm Steven.
And this is the Post P Chronicles. So, Steven, tell us what we got going on today.
Oh, we got an awesome guest today. We got national level competitor, hopefully future pro.
Yep.
Great story. Brian Cota. Tell us your story, Brian.
Okay. Let's see. So what do we?
Tell us about your childhood.
Yeah,
Where'd you grow up at?
So I'm born and raised from Chula Vista. I'm from San Diego. When I was a little boy, you know, I came from a good family. You know, my family raised me as best they could. I grew up. I didn't know English, so there was a lot of bullying going on when I went to elementary school, preschool, and stuff like that. So I got into a lot of fights. Was getting in trouble, of course.
Was your family like first generation Mexicans, or why'd you not speak English?
That's the way they raised me.
Okay.
So
cool.
they're second generation.
And you had a mom and dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it went about that. I was at that time still learning English, you know, so my English was like, you know, and I thought like it was just hard, like going to school, but I still tried, you know. I was always getting into fights with kids way older than me, you know, the bullies, but they ended up getting beat up. It was funny, like, but you know, after that, you know, I started learning. I learned English and stuff like that. And growing up, you know, my mom and my father, they split up, so I really didn't have a father figure.
What age was this when they split up?
Man, I can't even remember. This was young, like I want to say, like probably like less than 10 years old, like younger than 10 years old.
So pretty
young.
Pretty big effect on
Yeah. So I didn't really have nobody to kind of like lean on to besides my mom. And then that's when we're living in North County, San Diego at the time, like Vista area. Mm-hmm. And let's see. Yeah, I didn't want to get involved in a gang. You know, I had the opportunity to, but I knew I have family that are gang members, and one thing was like, whatever you do, my mom asked me, whatever you do is never join a gang, never steal, and never tell on your friends if you do something. So those were the things I live by. You know what I mean? Like,
that's your code of honor.
That's my code of honor. Is like whatever.
It's a pretty good code of honor.
Yeah, mama knows best.
Yeah, mama knows best.
Always keep your mouth shut, whatever happens. So that's the way I was raised, you know. But so I never joined the gang, you know. So high school, you know, still getting in trouble, little fights here and there, just, you know, dudes just trying to act all tough or whatever. That's when I kind of started selling drugs. You know, my family had like money. My grandma was working hard, but I didn't want to bug them for nothing. And then, so I'm like, I got to get it on my own. So I started off with like weed, you know, like little small stuff. You know, I got kicked out of Otay Ranch High, East Lake High for having weed on me. Some dude I sold it to got caught. He snitched on me, and I was like, bro,
the code.
I'm like, bro, I'm like, whatever. You know what I mean? So during high school, you know, I started lifting weights. I loved lifting weights. I saw like Arnold, you know, growing up. You know, I saw that Pumping Iron movie, and I was just like, damn, I want to like see the men's health magazines, the muscular development magazines. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to look like these guys, bro. Like
back when muscular development was like 400 pages.
Yeah, like thick.
Those are the
days.
Know,
Jay Cutler, Rodney Coleman were on the, you know what I mean? Like on the cover, like, oh, you know, Phil Heath was barely coming up, and I'm like, I need to do this. Like, this is what I want to do. So like that's where I kind of found my passion for bodybuilding, and I was just like, yeah, let's rock this. So started training, you know, in high school when we'd have the PE class. I'm over there hitting the weights, you know, all the girls are just lined up watching me because I'm just doing crazy shit. It was hilarious. And so after I got kicked out of those schools, I was going to like I guess like a private high school, like one of those like second chance high schools,
like a continuation school.
Yes, exactly, a continuation school. That's what it was. And it happened to be next to the supplement store, and it was called Elite Pro Nutrition. And at the time, I think I was like 15, 16 years old, and I walked in there, and I was like, seeing all like the bodybuilders, like Jay Cutler, like everybody, like this, the pictures, like how you guys got at the gym, like, and I'm like, whoa, this is the spot right here. Cause I'd go to like, what is it? GNC. And all those guys didn't know shit. It's like all those, like, I'm just like, man, whatever. So I go in, I'm like, this is the real deal. And I was like, I told the dude, I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get big, bro. Like, what's up? And he was like, how old are you, kid? And I'm like, I'm 16. Like, you know, he's like, all right, look, let's run this, you know. And I was like, all right, cool. And it was, I want to say it was like pro hormones.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm over here like, you know, in high school, just
Getting
like
huge.
He was like, boom. Eventually, you know, I started working for them. You know, I'd go to school and then I'd go right next door and I'd have to bring in my customers. So like for like the first 3 months, I wasn't getting paid. Like I was just right there, just chilling, learning each supplement, what this did to you, how to take it, like the different compounds, the herbs, everything, like boom. So I had to learn everything. That way when customers come in, I know how to sell a stack or whatever they want.
Yeah.
So here I am now, like 17 years old, going into like 18, and I got like dudes that are like way older than me, like still guys, like just more older. And
so are you staying out of trouble at this point? Like you're a continuation, you're in working at the supplement stop, you found your love for bodybuilding. Are you out of trouble, or what's going on at this point?
No, that's when I was selling coke. I was still selling, like, I stopped
using
selling
too, or just selling?
I'd use like when I'd go out and party. Recreational use. You know, I was more focused on my fitness. So I was just like, you know, dial down my nutrition and all that stuff. I stayed away from drinking and stuff like that. But I stopped selling weed because it was just annoying. It was smelled. It was like loud. And, you know what I mean? Coke was just small. You can compact it. You know what I mean? Like, and it was more money. So at that time I was selling cocaine. You know. And I tried selling like heroin and other stuff, but I just saw the way people got, and I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I'm good. No.
Ruining people's lives.
Yeah, I was like, I can't. I had one of my good friends, and he was like, yo, he kept hitting me up, and this guy could have been like probably a pro UFC fighter now, but I had sold to him a couple of times, and this guy was like blowing me up, and I'm like, dude, like for the sake of you, your health, and your mom, you need to sober up, dude. But I'm not selling shit. And after that, I fucking threw that shit away. I'm like, I'm not ever touching this again, you know? So I just stuck with coke. So, you know, I had a hard time going to school too, because I was just like trying to chase that money as well as just focus on working out. You know, I had all my, I guess I had my, how could you say it? My priorities fucked up, you know? But luckily for my grandma, she was on my ass. Like, mijo, you need to graduate school. You need to get your high school diploma, this and this and this. And I'm like, all right, yes. And I'm just like, yes. So if it wasn't for that woman, I probably would have never graduated high school. You know what I mean? Like, just her being on me. And that's what I'm thankful for every day, because a lot of people don't have high school diplomas. Right. You know what I mean?
I'm one of them.
You know?
So you graduated high school. Mm-hmm. You, like you said, you still in cocaine. You focused on your health, everything like that. What's going on after high school?
So after high school, I graduated. I graduated actually early too, because I was just doing a bunch of homework assignments and stuff like that. So that's when I did my first show. And it was right there at the Scottish Rite Center, a muscle contest show. And
which show? What year?
Man, I can't even remember. I had pictures of it though on my Instagram. And I was like, yeah, I want to. Oh no, the coworker. He was like, dude, you need to do bodybuilding. And I'm like, bro, I'm small. He's like, no, do men's physique. And I'm like, what's men's physique? And he showed me pictures. And his name was David Lamb.
Lambo.
Yeah, Lambo.
Yeah, he's a character.
Yeah, he's a character.
So, just for those who don't know what men's physique is, different from
it's like bodybuilding, physique. But you're wearing the board shorts.
Yeah, beach body look, you know, like six pack, chest.
They don't want you to be as huge. They're getting pretty big. Got to be pretty muscular still.
Like, and that time, like a lot of guys weren't focusing on their legs. Like men's physique was always clowned on, and probably still clowned on as like the little boy class of the sport.
Men's bikini is
men's bikini they call it, you know, because a lot of the guys that compete in men's physique, they don't have legs, and I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
And
was this back when Buendia was Mr. O when he first started?
Yeah, that's when he started. I had some conflicts with him as well. It was funny, but that's another story. So I went on I did my first show, and I just like, it was funny because I got ready for it. I was pretty ripped, but I literally went up there, walked, boom, went like this, turned around, boom, and then walked off. I was like, my nerves was like just through the roof, you know? And my coach was like, what the hell was that? Like, she's like, I thought you practiced your posing. I was like, I did. I was like, I got nervous, you know? And then I remember one of my boys, Andrew, I was like, I promise you, after your first show, you're never going to want to stop bodybuilding. And,
got the bug, huh?
And then I got the bug, and I'm just like,
it's like your first tattoo.
Exactly.
You get the bug.
Exactly. So, boom, after that show, shortly after, I got indicted by the feds. I got caught. I had 5 keys of cocaine on me. I was up in Seattle, and yeah, that's when life hit. Just turned 18, and I'm just like, fuck. Like, here I am sitting in a federal holding center. Like, what the fuck's gonna happen? And like,
so obviously that's a scary thing because you don't know what's going on. You just call 5 keys. That's a lot of money. Yeah. That's a lot of money. What is that? $100,000?
It's not cheap.
It's not cheap. You know.
Yeah.
So you obviously, again, that's a crazy thing to go from the stage, your first experience. You're like, this is what I want to do with my life. I want to bodybuild, and then you continue to obviously sell drugs. You're in prison.
Yeah.
You obviously go to prison.
Yeah.
What's going on in prison? What is your mind like? Why, when do you come up with, I'm never coming back here?
So, yeah, they took us. It was me and my buddy, who was my driver. And I told him, I said, let him go. He has nothing to do with it. I'll do his time, and just let him go.
Mama said.
Yeah, like just
Mama
let him go.
Mama knows best.
Yeah, I was like, let him go. Like, this is my drugs. These are my drugs. He has nothing to do with it. No, well, it doesn't work like that. He was driving you, blah, blah, blah. All right, whatever. Take us to prison. Like, well, tell us, like, they wanted information. I'm like, I'm not going to give you shit. They're like, well, you're doing 10 years. And I'm like, cool, I'll do 10 years. I'm fine with that. Like, I know what I signed up for, and that's what it is. Let's go to prison. Take me to prison. Yeah. They're like, oh, you're sure going to miss the California burritos, huh? And I'm like, fuck you, bro. Like,
they're trying to scare you, little 18-year-old.
Yeah. And I'm just laughing at these guys. So, I fought my case for like almost 2 years. Went to 10, it was like a 10. My maximum penalty was 20 years. I was facing 20 for my max if I took them to trial, which I wasn't going to do because I was going to lose. So started from 10, 8, 7, 7. And then I told my lawyer, I was like, I'll do 5 years right now. Just give me a deal for 5 years. I'll take it. I don't care. Let's just get the shit over with. I'm done. Like, let's just go. She was like, no, kid, I can work out a better deal. And I'm like, all right. So I guess the DA dropped the case. Well, another one stepped on board for my case and happened to be one of her friends. So she ended up getting me a 36 months to 48 months deal. So I signed it. She's like, so we cannot ask for no less than 36 months. I said, that's fine. Let's go to court. Signed my deal and went to court. The Border Patrol and the DE agents were right there. And I'm just sitting there like, fuck. Well, here it goes, So the judge is like, yeah, you got caught with a lot of drugs, kid. And he's like, how old are you? And I'm like, man, I just turned 18. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, 48 months feels like too much for you. He's also, I'm going to go. And then I didn't have a record. I had a juvenile record, but I really didn't have an adult record yet. This was my first actual crime as an adult. So he's like, you don't have no record. So you know what? I feel 36 months is fair for you. Cool. So I hope to never see you again. I hope you learn from this. Have a good day. 36 months. Boom.
How are you feeling at that point?
I was just like, okay, all right, 3 years. That's not bad. All right, fuck it. Let's go. I was already willing to do 5, So I'm just like, boom. Go back to the FDC, which was in C-Tech, Seattle. And I go see my case manager. I'm like, yo, where am I going? I thought I was going to go back to Cali, to Terminal Island. And she's like, oh, you're going to Texas, kid? I'm like, Texas? Like, why am I going to Texas? Like, I'm young. I don't know. They'll just ship you anywhere.
We're federal.
Yeah, we're federal. You know what I mean? They'll just ship you to the East Coast. They don't give a fuck. And I'm just like, I have no family in Texas. I'm from California. The judge said I needed to go to California. She's like, nope, you're going to Texas. So I went to Texas. And as I was on the prison bus, like I was getting transferred, you know, Con Air and stuff like that, going through the transit centers. And it really hit me when I was pulling up on the bus and I seen the prison. That's when it hit me, just seeing the fences, the big fences with barbed wire. And I'm like, whoo, this is it.
18 years old. This is my new home.
This is real.
Yeah.
So we get there, we get off, we get in R&D. You know, they're checking all our property and stuff like that. And one of my homies was like, hey, we're not allowed to walk here. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because I ran homie in there. And I guess some yards, you know, the Southsiders are not allowed to walk. But that's what we were told. So I'm like, all right, well, first person we see, we're taking off on them. Like, fuck it. You know, it's go time. So here we are on the yard, and I'm just like, damn, what the fuck did I get myself into? I'm like, oh, man, then we got to get off on somebody. I'm like, oh. So as soon as we get into the dorm, some dude comes up to me, what's up, homie? Where you from? I'm from Sureño, from California. What's up? And he was like, all right, cool. He was a Tango Blast, and they're from, like, Texas. And I was like, all right, cool. You know, he's like, you got your homies here from L.A. and from San Diego. I'm like, I look at my home like, damn, these fools are trying to baby rock us. They're about to bring us in, right, about to bring us in deep so they can get us. Yeah. I'm like, all right, whatever, let's rock. So we go, and then a homie from California comes up. He's like, what's up, kid? He's like, you from San Diego? Yeah. All right, I'm from L.A. This is where we sit. And I'm just like, we're good here? He's like, yeah. What do you mean? I'm like, someone told me in Oklahoma Transit Center, we're not allowed to walk here. He's like, nah. Actually, the homie from San Diego has the yard. And I'm like, oh, shit. All right, cool. So as I was, you know, in the prison, I was like, I need to figure out what to do. You know, I didn't drink. I didn't like to gamble. I didn't do drugs, you know, like
trying to bodybuild.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, there's a weight pile here. When can we go out to the yard? Like the next move's right now. I'm like, fuck. So, you know, I got my yard clothes on, checked out the weight pile. It was cool. Like they had dumbbells, barbells. They had a whole setup. It was like the old school, like just all metal stuff. And started working out, and then just there was a guy that was a trainer from on the street, and he's like, yeah, we're about to do a personal training program here from the NFPT. He's like, you want to try to become a personal trainer? I'm like, hell yeah. How long is the course? And he was like, 6 months.
I got time.
I was like,
nothing to do.
Let's do it. You know, so a bunch of us signed up, you know, like I signed up and took that course, studied it. You know, I had got like nutrition books sent in, and I was just in there a bookworm, you know. That's how I made use of my time. Like when I did time, I was just reading real estate stuff, business stuff, nutrition, anything that has to do with outside use that I can use in the real world. I'm reading that shit, because when I get out, if I can't make it down this way, I might try to make it down this way.
So you did 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
You get out.
Yeah.
You say bodybuilding saved your life to us earlier. So you get out 3 years. Obviously, you said you spent a total of 8 years. So what's going on after this 3-year sentence? What are you doing?
So after I get out, I'm certified. I get I'm in the halfway house right there. It was on Boston Avenue when Boston Avenue was for feds.
I know that place.
Yeah. So it was just a guy's facility because you have Ocean View, that's male and county and all that stuff. But I ended up at Boston. I applied at different 24-hour fitnesses, and I got the position at Imperial. So I started training at Imperial. I was there for a while, not even for a while, for like 6 months. And I was just like, dude, I can do this shit on my own. Like, fuck paying rent, like paying a commission, like
making somebody else money, right?
Yeah, I'm like, fuck that. Like, and then I felt bad selling the packages to people. Like, it was like $1,200 for 12 sessions. I'm like, the people are like, I don't know if I can afford that. I'm like, but these people really needed it. You know what I mean? So I was training people at damn, I can't even think of the name right now. Oh, it was this is when I was part of Team Go Fitness with Ches Bruce. I think he trains out of that gym in North Park, that old school Stearns gym.
Stearns, yeah.
Yeah. So I was training clients there. You know, I could offer clients a better trainings, like nutrition, everything, for a way cheaper price. So I quit 24-hour fitness, and I was just training people there, or training people at their house, or I'd go with them to the gym, wherever they train, and I'll just train them there. Like, I was just like, who cares, you know? So I got out. I was like, I need to hit the stage again. Like, I had that bug still.
The itch.
That itch. So I got on. I started prep. I was prepping with one of my older coaches, and we had did a. It was the muscle contest show, the Ultimate Warriors, in years ago. But it was an Ultimate Warrior show. I didn't place well, and so I'm like, all right, let's go back. Let's run it again. So then we did the LA Fit Expo. That's when I became nationally qualified. And then I was like, all right, let's go to nationals.
What year is this?
So Miami Nationals was 2017.
2017.
Yeah. So here I am, like a year and some change out from prison, and I'm doing what I love.
Yeah.
And this time, when I got out, I had the opportunity to get back involved in what I was doing, but I stayed away from it.
Right.
Dealing coke.
Just being in that street life. I had my probation officer was cartel and gang task force, and this guy was on my ass, like bad. At that time, so I was just working, and then I was a full-time student at Southwestern. I went to culinary arts school right there, graduated. So that's when I was just prepping for Miami Nationals, you know, and at this time, before that, I had went to the Arnold Classic like months prior that year, and that's where I met my coach, who I'm with now at a Metroflex Doms, and that's where we met. And he had the San Diego hat, Team Fidelis, you know, and that's when me and him clicked up, and I was like, let's do something. Like, I'm trying to hit a national show, bro. Like, you know, the coach that I had, he didn't really have too much knowledge, you know, which I wasn't knocking him. It was just like, I'm trying to get up to the next level.
Yeah, you're a beginner. He was helping you out.
Yeah, so it was like, boom. So here we are on road to Miami Nationals, and man, I was looking insane. Like, but the thing that I was lacking was my chest, you know. And I still went. You know, we went. I got second call-outs. I was kind of mad, you know, disappointed. You know, everybody's disappointed when they lose.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course.
And especially, like, I went there to win. And I was just like, but I had to keep my head up because I had got second call-outs. And I was like, all right, you know what? I told my coach, I'm like, let's try Arnold Classic. You know? He's like, really? You want to do that? I'm like, why not?
So this is November of 17. Arnold Classics usually around March.
Yeah, so
of 18,
we were gonna do
right?
it prior. We were gonna do it the next year because I wanted to get bigger. I wanted to go in just to win the show. And so I'm out. This is when I was working in downtown at Nobu. I was a chef right there, and I instead of going to work, I went with one of my boys to a soccer match. And next thing you know, I guess there was already an altercation there. I had pulled up to something that was already steaming. I guess his team got down with this team, so there was already chaos. So I pulled up. Some dude comes up. I'm on the phone, and some dude comes up to me talking shit, and I'm just like, "Get the fuck away from me, bro!" Like, so I turn around. Next thing you know, I get hit in the back of the head, and I'm just like,
"Here we go!"
Boom! Turn around and knocked him. His two buddies tried running up. I knocked him. I'm just smashing him up. Bah, bah. Boom. My buddy's just watching, like looking at him like, like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
hey, you got it. You got it.
Like, get in. Like, next thing you know.
don't need any help.
Yeah. Like, clearly you're fine over there. Next thing you know, I see like 15, 20 guys running towards me, and I'm like, oh. I was like, oh, I'm not running. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So I'm right there. Finally, I get knocked down. Next thing you know, I see a guy coming at me with a knife, and I'm just like, "Oh shit, here it comes!"
So it's 15-on-1 at this point.
Pretty much. This guy who's supposedly my friend,
your friend,
he took off. He ran.
Jeez.
So I'm there solo. I'm right there by myself. I see the knife coming. I put my hand up. It still gets me. Went in half an inch right behind my earlobe.
Could have been dead.
I could have been dead. Yeah, the paramedic was like, dude, an inch more, you would have been dead.
Cut your jugular.
Yeah, anywhere else, you would have been dead. He's like, you stopped it from you dying. So dude tried stabbing me. He pretty much did stab me, and then I kicked him. Boom, that's when my adrenaline kicked in. I picked up the beer bottle and just went, what? Just smacked him on his face. Then everybody froze. And I was like, that's my window. Boom. Took off. Grabbed my backpack. I'm running.
Your ride's already gone?
Yeah, everybody's gone, dude.
He's tucked in the bed by this time.
yeah. I'm running. I turn around and it's just like these short little fucking dudes from like Honduras just chasing me. And I'm just like, oh, damn. And I'm like, I get up to the top of the hill. I turn around and I'm trying to climb the fence, but I still have to fight these guys.
Kicking and punching people out.
Yeah. So the final one was just a Spartan kick. Boom! Those dudes just went flying back. And then I climbed the fence. And then I stopped, and there was some dude right there in the tent. He's like, man, you're bleeding bad out of your neck. Like, I was just leaking bad. So my instinct was to grab some dirt or whatever and pack it. And I just kept fucking running. I'm running. Helicopters out. I'm missing a fucking shoe. My shirt's all bloody, and I'm just like, then, so I get under a hot car. And I'm calling my cousin. I'm like, yo, get me the fuck out of here. Call me an Uber. This is where I'm at. I dropped my pin. So I'm sitting under the hot car like, fuck. And I'm like, I hear the helicopter. I'm like, damn. And then I hear cop cars. Vroom, vroom, vroom. This is in Shelltown. And I'm like, damn, what do I do? What do I do? These fools found me. Pop out, take off my shirt, throw it in the dumpster. I'm jumping fences. A dog tries running up on me. I kick the dog. Boom.
Police dog?
No, it was just like a pit bull. Someone's in the backyard, and then I ran up on these dudes that were hanging outside. I'm like, yo, look, man, I didn't do nothing wrong. Some guys jumped me. I said, the cops are looking for me right now. I need your guys' help. I'll pay you guys. Like, just fucking hide me. I'll pay you money. And they're like, all right, come in. I was like, don't trip. I said, what's your address? I'm gonna have my ride come pick me up. So, sure enough, I guess their neighbor saw me and heard my description. Next thing you know, I'm getting sworn by SDPD. Freeze, motherfucker! Don't you fucking move, we'll shoot you. And I'm just like, damn, bro, I'm not doing shit. I said, I'm the one that got stabbed. Like, relax. Nah, motherfucker. Grab me, slam me, and I'm just like, damn.
Bleeding all over the place.
Yeah, bleeding all over the place. And then they bring those guys that jumped me for a witness lineup. Yeah, that's the guy that hit me with the beer bottle. I'm just like, what? They're like, why'd you run, bro? I'm like, dude, I'm getting jumped by like 15, 20 guys.
They stabbed me.
They stabbed me in the neck. Like, what the fuck would you do? Like, what do you mean? So I was like, you would mean you would chase a suspect, he starts firing at you, you're going to continue to chase him? No, you're not. You're unarmed. So I did what I had to do. I survived. I took off fucking running. Like, next thing you know, I'm getting hit for assault with a deadly weapon.
Violation.
And nothing happened to the guy that tried to stab you?
No, nothing happened to them. They got released. So I went to federal court. The federal task force came to get me. And I went to court, and the judge was like, yeah, you were involved in a fight. But, yeah, you got stabbed from my years of being a judge. Yeah, it's a stab wound. But you were still involved in a fight, so I'm giving you 21 months. And I'm like, bro, like, what?
That sounds crazy.
And I'm just like,
dude,
crazy.
I would be so mad.
I was like, wow, like, bro. So, boom. There goes, the prep for the Arnold Classic. I'm just like, fuck. So here I am sitting, I did my violation at MCC San Diego. And I was there and, still had that bug. Still had that bug in there. Just continued doing
21 months, you're just focused, working out.
Stay on it. Reading more books.
No drama.
No drama. I was an electrician for the building, so I was doing all the electrical work. And then got out in the halfway house. Started prep right away in the halfway house.
Call your coach.
Called my coach. I'm back.
That's dedication.
Hey, bring me some protein powder.
That is dedication
right now.
I'm bringing in. I'm sneaking in fucking meat in my backpack. Meat right here.
Got a Foreman grill going at night.
I got like the single servings of tuna packets. You know what I mean? The single servings of the protein. Like, my shit's stocked, bro. Like, and I'm right there hitting like the little weight. But I was luckily to have a job, and I would still be able to go hit the gym, and I know how to have my people drop off my meals. So I'm still eating, you know what I mean, doing my thing. And this is when like the results were like I was going hard. Like my coach is like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? And what the fuck are you taking? Like, and I'm like, bro, I'm just following the plan. Like, he's like, dude, you're shredded right now. Like 225 shredded. Like, and I'm like, this is what you told me to, like, I'm doing what you're telling me to do. He's like, all right, well, after every workout, you need to go smash them in and out. And I'm like, all right, bet. He's like, dude, we're not even like close to Arnold, but bro, you already have this shit in the bag. And I'm just like, really? He's like, bro, you're nasty right now. Like, just, we're barely 3 months into your prep.
So we're prepping for the Arnold. You get out, super dedicated. You're in a halfway house. You're sneaking in food. You're doing what you got to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, you didn't do the Arnold. What happened?
So, this was, I had just barely got out of the halfway house.
2018 or 2019?
2019.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had just barely got out the halfway house. So it was probably like 3 months out. And everything was going good. I was working, doing what I had to do. You know what I mean? Again, you know, I got involved in some shit just to make some side money, you know, because fucking fitness is not cheap. You know, food's not cheap.
Bodybuilding's an expensive sport.
It's the most expensive one, and supplements, all that shit. So I was doing some things, you know, to make some side money. But I ended up going to LA with my brother, and there was a gun in the car. And we get pulled over right there on 38th Street.
And you have no idea.
And the gun's right there under my seat, you know, and cops pull us over, get us to run our names. All right, you're on probation. We got to check the car. All right, they find the gun, and I'm just like, whose gun is this? I'm like, I don't know.
They're assuming it's not your brother's gun, right?
They're like, I'm like, I don't know. They're like, well, if you don't tell us whose gun this is, we're taking all you guys. And I'm just looking at my brother and his friend. I'm like, bro, I just got out, dog. You better take this shit, dog. Like, I am not going back. Like, sure enough, you know, they grabbed me. You're under arrest. You're going to jail.
So real quick, I know we don't talk about it a lot on the show, but any little thing you do on parole, even if someone else's problem and you're in the car, you're associated, you're guilty by association basically on parole, right?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
I
would say federal parole is
the worst.
a lot more strict
Yeah.
than state
So
parole.
if someone has coke on them, weed on them,
Yeah.
anything on them, and it's not yours, but you're in the same
You're
vehicle,
probably gonna get violated.
same vicinity,
Yeah.
you get in trouble.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people don't realize
Yeah,
that. So I just want to clarify.
we can't be around felons.
So you're around an illegal gun that's not yours that you had no idea was in the car.
Yeah.
Neither of the two guys in the car take the blame for it. You're the one that goes down for it.
Yeah, so the cop was like, yeah, tell that to the judge. I'm like, all right, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, so we go to LA. I get booked into LA County. I have no bail. Like, they know I'm on federal probation.
Parole hold.
Yeah, parole hold. And I'm like, fuck. I'm trying to get out before the marshals get me. Cause I
got a show to do. I can't be in here.
I'm thinking of the worst. Like, I'm like, okay, I just got picked up on a gun. Like, now I'm looking at 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
New case.
A new case. And I'm just like, I got to get out of here. At this point, I'm leaving the country. Like, I was like, I'm not never coming back to the U.S. Like, it is what it is.
It's just, I'm done for it.
I'm done. Like, I'm not giving these motherfuckers no time. So sure enough, I go to LA County. I'm in the dungeons with all the lifers. Dudes have been down like 20, 30 years already, back on appeals. And, you know, finally I got granted bail, and my bail was like $13,000. And I paid that shit. Got the fuck out of there. As soon as I got out, I'm looking around for marshals. I'm right there in downtown LA, like, let's go, get in the car, let's go back to San Diego. And I didn't even call federal probation. I knew I was done for, you know. I called my lawyer, and I'm like, so what's the status? What are we looking at? I'm like, am I looking at 10 years or what? Like, they're like, no, I already did all the scenarios, and they can't pick up the case. As far as the gun, it was the ghost gun.
So those are the worst ones.
Yeah, so, but at this time they weren't. This is when the streets were flooded with them. Like, this is when they first came out, you know. So they couldn't hit me for the gun on federal. All they could hit me for was ammunition, which was a Class B violation, which carried 6 months to a year, because I was Category 2. So
what is Category 2?
So there's different categories for the federal sentencing guidelines. Category 1's like the less. Category 2 is like 3, 4 is like You'll get more time. So my lawyer is like, dude, you're looking at a violation. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, you're not running.
You already got your ticket booked.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, I'm gone.
Yeah, I think I'll stay.
No, I'm not going to Mexico. That's the dumbest place to go. I'm going farther. And he's like, yeah, you're looking up to like 2 years max, but ammunition carries 6 months to a year. And I'm like, fuck it, let's do this shit. So I'm like, all right, I'm staying out to the holidays, dog. Like, fuck these motherfuckers. Like, I'm going in the beginning of the year, and this was when COVID had hit too, so the courts were closed.
Yeah, everything's backed up.
Yeah, everything's backed up. So my lawyer, who's I call him Better Call Saul lawyer, he got me a time served in LA County with 2 years probation for that gun charge.
So what'd you end up doing?
So I just did time served for those 7 days. It was 10 for 1, so that counted as 70 days. So
10 for 1.
Yeah, that's
what
I guess
heard of that
10 for 1.
What?
Will was like, what?
That's when it was at that time in LA County. Like when I was in LA
that's because
County,
they were releasing people at that point, right? And the prisons are overcrowded and
bro,
COVID.
it was
get you
bad.
paid.
Like dudes, like
You could steal a car in the street and they wouldn't arrest you.
dudes were going home.
10 years ago, if it was 10 for 1.
Dudes were going home. Like dudes were stressed out in LA County. Like fuck,
They were
man, I'm
probably
going back
like,
upstate.
ammunition, whatever. Get this guy out.
Yeah. They're like, man, I'm going back upstate. All these guys were like, immediate release. I mean, the only people that were staying in LA County were the murderers.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I remember that during COVID, you could steal a car, laugh at the cops. Cops couldn't do anything basically. They could cite you and let you go about
Citation,
your day.
yeah,
Stealing
exactly.
a car.
Yeah, and then all all the holding and the quarantine and all that. It was
so
ordeal.
So then I'm not even staying at my house because I know these fools are watching my house, the marshals. And then I have my neighbors keeping a lookout for me. One day I got a text message from my neighbor, and he was like, "Yo, there's some guy looking around asking questions about you," and I'm like, "It's the fucking marshals, those bastards, showing my picture around." Like, and I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "All right, cool. Now I know they're there. They're watching my house." And then literally, so my I didn't show up to my state case. In LA, I didn't show up because I know they were going to be waiting for me. So I had my lawyer go. And then I signed a consent.
Let's clarify real quick. Federal is way different than obviously
State.
Oh yeah.
So you're avoiding
different.
the federal marshals
Yeah.
because they can get you in serious trouble, right?
Yeah. They're gonna take me straight back to the feds, and I'm like, I'm good right now. I'm
so
staying.
You're avoiding them, but
Yeah.
you're okay with whatever the state penalty is. But as far as federal, you're like, I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah. So I told my lawyer, I was like, is there a consent I can sign for you just to go without me? He was like, yeah, boom. So as soon as he went to LA, my case was done. Marshals raided my mom's house, and like I said, I was not staying there. But at that time, I had my baby mama and my son right there, and she was working on her citizenship. Right, we had got married and stuff like that, and it was all like pretty much a waiting process. So I get a call from the marshals. I get pictures of them. They're surrounded by my house. I get pictures from my neighbors. And I was like, all right, I got the drop on these motherfuckers. Like, so next thing you know, I get a phone call, and it's like, yeah, it's the marshal here. If you don't come and turn yourself in, we're gonna take your wife. And I'm like, the fuck you mean? You can't do that shit. He's like, she doesn't have the proper documentation to be here right now.
Oh, like they're gonna deport her?
Yeah. He's like, we have ICE agents with us right now. And I'm like,
bluffing,
fuck. And I'm like, man, I'll call you back. Call my lawyer.
And
I call my lawyer, and I'm like, yo, do ICE agents go on raids with it? She's like, yeah, sometimes ICE agents tackle on. And I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, dude, this cannot be happening, bro. Like, fuck. And I'm just like thinking for my son's sake. I hear my son crying. And I'm like, yo, you guys don't need to be hitting my pad like that, bro. Like, you guys know I'm not staying there. If you guys want me to turn myself in, you have my fucking phone number. You guys can call me. All this drama around my house, like, nah, you guys need to leave. I'll meet you guys down the street. I'll turn myself in. Oh, yeah. So you have an hour to be here. So I turned myself in. I went, faced the music. They surrounded me with ARs. I'm just like this, like, come on, bro. Like, this is unnecessary. They're like, you want to see your son? And I'm like, yeah. So
you go back to prison.
Yeah.
Another violation.
Yeah.
You get out. When'd you get out?
So I went back for 2 years. I got out August August, like the beginning of August.
Just a couple months ago.
Just a couple
Fresh
months
out.
ago.
Fresh out. What's life like now that you fresh out?
Man.
And I know you're not never going back to prison.
Yeah. After that experience, during COVID, bro, I was locked down the whole entire time. Commissary, we had shortages. Like, so we're rationing. Like, I'm rationing soups.
I know how bad that was.
And then shit would pop off too, you know, so we're on lockdown. You know, so whatever you have, like I'm maxing out in the store and I got bags of soups and I'm just eating everything. You know, we're just getting our trays sent to our door, shower 3 times a day or three times a week, you know, so every other day you'll get to shower. So it sucked.
That is more than enough reason never to go back to prison.
It sucked, bro.
But you out now, so what's going, because I remember you said that fitness saved your life and it seems like every single part of your journey, fitness was always there. It was never far away from your journey. So how is fitness right now in your life?
So
where are you at on your journey?
So as soon as, I did my full time. I didn't get halfway house.
Right.
I said, fuck halfway house, all that. So I got out, contacted my coach, and I'm like, what's up? I was in contact with him in there. He was, you know, taking care of me, putting money on my books. You know what I mean? Showing support. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
a great coach.
You're right. Like, he's like, don't trip. When you get back, you already know what to do. I'm like, all right, cool, bet. So contacted him, drove up to Metroflex. That same weekend, I got out and did a training session. I'm like, yo, Arnold, what's up? He's like, you still want to do it? I'm like, fuck yeah. What the fuck you mean?
So March of next year, you're shooting for the Arnold.
Yeah, I'm shooting for the Arnold next year, yeah.
You are in prep right now.
I'm in the off-season mode right now. So I'm just trying to take it as much as I can in, training as hard as I can. And I'll be doing a warm-up show at the Muscle Contest show. I don't know what show yet we're going to do. I'm just going to pop up one.
When is that?
It's going to be before the Arnold.
Okay.
So I'm going to take the overall and just go into the Arnold just ready.
Brian,
ready.
Your story, your journey is, it was packed with just crazy moments.
Adversity is an understatement.
Adversity is an understatement. And mom knows best, and you stay true to that.
Yeah.
Every single step of your journey.
You know what I love too is like, you're such a bodybuilder. Like,
yes.
In the pen, out of the pen, like, as soon as you get out, hey, coach, I'm out.
Arnold.
What are we doing? That's what we all do. It's just, I love it because it's like, prison doesn't even phase you. You're like, all right, my goal is still to be a pro. Arnold.
I just went through some crazy shit, and I'm just like, the whole time, rights popping up, Arnold. Fucking like,
Arnold.
You know what I mean? Like, Arnold.
Some guy in prison comes to your cell. Hey, man. Hey, I'm focused on the Arnold right now. Don't talk to me.
Man. Arnold, bro.
I'm still right there in the weight pile, just teaching dudes how to like actually lift right. Because in there, dudes are just in there like, wah, 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 or like doing the same thing. I'm like, no.
Training in there.
So I was training guys in there, like showing them right ways to work out.
So obviously your IFBB Pro card is one of the goals.
Exactly.
What are you doing now that you're out, and what's going to keep you out?
So right now, I've been working 2 jobs. I'm a chef right now, a low voltage technician, with my boy that we started up this company. And then just been really focusing on my son, like I said, I didn't really have a father growing up, so that impacted me a lot. So I told myself whenever I did have a kid, I would always be there for my son, no matter what.
That's right.
So I'm right here grinding, busting my ass so he can have whatever the fuck he wants. Of course he's got to earn some things. I'm not gonna just spoil him, but I'm just here to let him know that his dad's always gonna be there for him, no matter what. Right. And I'm just doing positive things, just trying to help people out. With what I can and whenever I can. And just try to get back as well, and that's what's just been keeping me out of trouble. I'm hanging around with a good circle now.
Solid crew.
A solid crew.
You checking under the seats before you get into the car.
I'm hanging out with I'm hanging out with a solid crew they're up there and they're doing a lot of positive things in the world. And now I'm just sitting back and absorbing so I can start eating as well.
That's right.
You go.
And just staying focused for this Arnold title, man.
That's right. It's all about Arnold, man.
Side note, Arnold. I think you'd be a good part of our rehabilitation group on Saturdays. Our gym, Post P Chronicles rehabilitation group.
Yeah.
I think you have a lot to offer, and same thing. Bad company corrupts good character, but iron sharpens iron. So we hope that you can get in on our group and be part of that
for
sharpening
sure. I'd
process.
love to, man. I'd love to.
I love that. So, thank you for coming through.
Appreciate you guys having me, man.
With us, man. We
appreciate
really
that.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
So for another episode, I'm Will.
I'm Steven,
And this is the Post P Chronicles.